Tonight I'm supposed to be Professor Nakata, but I'm a bit confused because a couple of the judges didn't turn up from Murray Island, and I've had to fill in for them as well. And another Murray Island elder was supposed to come, but he had to have a last-minute surgery. So today I was Annie. Tonight I'm Councillor Ronde, and just about 5 minutes ago I'm also Michael Passi. Unfortunately, these guys couldn't be with us tonight, so I hope things follow coherently for you. It's been really a wonderful day, and I've really so much enjoyed my time this afternoon with students. I tried very much not to be hands-on with this course, but after today's event, I think I've done the whole course. So much work has gone into these projects that the students have done, shown us today. And I must really say to all of you students, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Job really well done. Mayor or Murray Island is a very beautiful place. And the people of Mayor are very independent people who know this area of the world better than anyone. They've known it for longer than anyone. They've built a way of life rich with religion and creation stories, rich with law and customs, rich with stories that contain lessons for the generations who follow, and rich with environmental knowledge. But we should never forget that the people of Mayor also live in the same world that we all live in, an interconnected world where much of the modern way of life across the world sets similar hopes and expectations for a meaningful and productive life. Students, really, I've got to say again, you've done a great job today, because you've had to construct an understanding of what it's like up there. At the same time, none of you have ever been there to experience that reality. And Murray Island is a very, very long way away. From where we stand tonight, it's about 2,760 kilometres from Sydney in a direct line. It's about 213 kilometres from Thursday Island, which is the administrative centre for the Torres Strait. It's at the northern extremity of the Great Barrier Reef. It's way, way, way out there. From Sydney, you'll probably get a cheaper ticket going to London. Your projects tonight, students, demonstrate that you do appreciate the distance. At such distances, the resources and services of modern day life that we take for granted here in Sydney become for them very expensive commodities if they have to be imported into the islands. So Mayor's remoteness and distance makes this challenge very interesting and topical in times of environmental sustainability. But there's more to know than the challenges of distance and geography. There are people at the heart of the challenge. To understand the challenges the Mayor people face, you need to know something of their history. Murray Islanders have always been very resourceful. They've always had gardens, they've always had the sea, they've always had to travel and trade long distances with their neighbours to the north as well as the south and to the west. Murray Islanders have always been knowledgeable in their own universe, and that universe has been open to them via the stars. The stars of Tagai have steered knowledge of the seasons, the winds, the rain, and the tides. It is difficult for others to appreciate the depth and extent of this knowledge and the richness of the language and vocabulary that expresses it. But it was this knowledge that enabled Murray Islanders to sustain themselves and live well for thousands of years, way back to when it was a land bridge between Australia and Papua New Guinea. And then came all the intrusions, all the disruptions. First, in the 1840s, came the fishermen who came to exploit the marine resources as well as the people, taking their profits elsewhere out of the straits. Then in 1871 came the London Missionary Society to bring the so-called light of Christianity and to rescue the poor souls in the Torres Straits. A whole way of life took a turn. Murray Islanders adjusted intelligently though. They saw similarities between their old religion and the Old Testament, and they added to the New Testament of Christianity. And then came in Queensland, then came the Queensland government establishing their administration on the tip of Cape York in 1864 to make sure those missionaries didn't get too much control and to make sure other colonial powers did not control the Torres Strait, which was a strategic sea passage as it is today. So no shipping can come into the Australian seaboard without going through the Torres Strait. At times when we're politically frustrated, we hope to put a toll gate on it. But Murray Island was so far away that Queensland didn't annex the Murray Islanders in the islands until 1879, 5 years after they annexed the rest of the Torres Strait. It was a difficult place to get to in those times. Murray Islanders could nod their heads to the great white protectors and then quietly ignore them after they left. They were able to plus the new knowledge brought by white people into the old knowledge at their own pace and for their own purposes. They bowed their knees to no one. So distance, in one sense, has been a blessing for Murray Islanders. Having always been resourceful and independent, the Murray Islanders were able to continue to retain a great deal of tradition and knowledge that they still use today, while also still adding to the new. But distance is also an impediment to the easy flow of resources in and out, the easy flow of knowledge in and out, and the easy flow of ideas in and out. And new knowledge and new ways of doing things, new technologies come and go in the island of Mir, most often imposed by the guiding wisdom of bureaucratic decision making, if you get my drift. So the Merian people live always with the promise that the new will work better for them than the old did. But the promise is rarely delivered. Better transport and communication brings closer regulation, but not necessarily better bureaucrats or better ways of doing things. The people of Mir have clear goals, which are not so different from any of us here tonight. To be as independent and self-sustaining as possible, to have the knowledge required to do so, to have opportunities of meaningful employment for people who live there, and to have the opportunity to educate their children so they can find their own solutions to the challenges of an ever-changing world. Here's where this student challenge is very exciting. Mir might be isolated and distant, but it has people, a population that could well take care of itself in sustainable and resourceful and independent ways. If only they could trade and exchange the knowledge they have of the environment with the knowledge and ideas of their students and their teachers. What sort of engineering solutions can our university students find that can be built, managed, and maintained by the Murray Island people? And how can this be done without the enormous cost of current infrastructure systems that mean that these proud and independent people have to continually depend on others? And how can we do this so there's an exchange of knowledge between our students and our people from there? The notion of exchange is close to the heart of all islanders. To conduct business and human relations is to engage in a process of exchange. You and me, together, all equal, with something to offer the other. Exchange is a negotiation. It's where a coincidence of interest meets with the desire to satisfy all involved and to preserve some room for dignity. This is the spirit of this endeavor here in this challenge that the students have faced. That is what you have been engaged in. I'm so happy to stand here so far from my home and feel a bit of part of the University of New South Wales, the engineering faculty, and my fellow Islanders endeavours our Westwar.
Thank you very much, Stephen, Martin, and Richard. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Almighty, our Creator. To acknowledge Him first. Secondly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owner, and Owen, I believe, and his elders. Thirdly, I would like to thank the University of New South Wales with the help of Martin, Stephen, Richard, and Stephen Foster. Nice welcoming here. And all the students, like Martin was saying, thank you very much. I didn't know what to say, but you've done a good job. Thank you. In my dream way back, I thought I couldn't stand here in front of the audience and actually say my dream come true. One of my cousins actually mentioned to me, he said, why not you approach the university for the PhD students to do such study for you, for the community. And I've mentioned to all other chairs of the PBC board across our region in the Torres Strait. Again, long struggle like everybody, we always struggle back home. I don't know what to say, but what I want to say here tonight is, since I brought up and see my family members, my brothers, cousins, aunties, uncle, and them who struggle. And I brought up on that life. I actually jumped in a boat, went over with my uncle on the region, in the Torres Strait, right around Torres Strait, then jump on a boat on a laga to Pompera. I learned how to shake leg there. So I've been around a lot. And I don't like the ideas with the Queensland government. They give us something to do. When we do something, they always come and tell us, no, you can't do that. So, bring us all the way as since 1936, like Martin mentioned earlier, the administration was to the tip. 1936, there were a maritime strike, and thus we formed the council of today in the Torres Strait. Actually, Marau Mimi from Murray Island, he actually stood up and tell all the luggers that he saw in that island that day, told them to stop diving on the 14th of January 1936, sorry. Tell them to stop. Everyone woke up that morning and the skipper said, come on, get on the boat. No, we don't work. And thus we formed the council. I was involved in interpreter for the Mabo case, thinking that Mabo was wrong. But then again, Mabo just I don't know what Eddie was thinking. Actually, he was thinking, look, we own this country, we own this island, and make the family against family, they fight amongst themselves. In the real life today, we are still doing the same thing because we were influenced by the Queensland government, even by our own people. Killing our culture and our tradition. Language, I could not speak my language today, but I practice. The last time we come together, I see them ladies dancing there. You can see happening today on Murray Island, died out. Gardening, everything, Annie was talking about Facebook, laptop, TV. But once again, I really want to thank the university and Brother Martin to get us today on that spot where we can see a channel leading towards the economy of Mir and the Torres Strait. Thank you.